You never listen to me and you don't even care. If you marry Jane, I am not moving into her house.
Whew. Okay. So first, I need to take a deep breath. I need to deal with my own emotions and recognize that Emma is having some emotions as well. Then I need to see this as an opportunity to connect with Emma. Okay. That's when I can start with step 3 of listening and empathizing. So that was pretty harsh. Emma's coming at me. Here I go. I'm going to enter in. Welcome to the Blended Family Breakthrough Podcast. We're your hosts, Mike and Kim.
We believe in a world where blended families can experience a future full of hope, connection, and peace.
That's why we offer tools, strategies, and guidance that move you from a place of confusion and conflict to experiencing a life of confidence and connection.
We're so glad you're joining us for authentic and sometimes comical conversations as we cover everything from romance to parenting and yes, even dealing with that difficult ex.
So if you're ready to experience breakthrough in your blended family, you're in the right place. Let's dive in. Hey there, welcome back. Last week I challenged you to share our episode with a friend or a coworker or a family member that might also be in a blended family. And I wonder if you took a moment to do that. Today, you're going to discover a process that we'll model for you. And anytime we learn a new process, the name of the game is practice, 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 right? And I found that rarely happens without a little accountability. So I want to invite you again to share last week's episode and this episode with someone that you trust and who you can kind of be accountability buddies with. It's amazing how you can activate real change when you just share what you're learning with a friend. So what do you say we hop in, hon?
Sounds good.
Great.
So in our last episode, we explored the different ways kids tend to react to the blending process. And if you missed it, you may want to go back and listen to that before jumping in today. Just for a quick recap, you might recall that we shared how some kids use words to show their disapproval of the blend. Others act out in ways that seem out of character. They might shut down or withdraw, get sarcastic, lash out, or slip into passive-aggressive patterns. When a child says or does something hurtful, most parents and step-parents are wondering, how should I respond to this?
And we outlined 4 common pushback predicaments and what might be happening under the surface of those. One was competing for love, right? Fear that a parent's love is limited and that they're going to lose their share of it, right? A second was accusations and threats. That's when words are rooted in confusion, insecurity, or they're feeling threatened, right? So they push that accusation and threat back on you. A third is an oppositional attitude. That's when they're acting out. Maybe you hear a lot of sarcasm, or they're just plain old refusing to engage with you or with the family. And then fourth is loss and grief, right? So their painful words are reflecting things like unwanted change or difficulty accepting the new family dynamics.
And when parents and step-parents are faced with these pushback moments, our default responses are often unhelpful. I used to appease, minimize, or deflect when my daughter pushed back. Other parents slide into blame, defensiveness, fix-it mode, control, or avoidance. None of that reaches the heart of what's going on inside our kids. Those responses leave children feeling alone, devalued, unheard, and misunderstood, intensifying the painful emotions they're already carrying. Then they tend to stay stuck and might continue to push back.
That's right. And so this short 2-part series is about understanding where pushback comes from and responding in a way that addresses behavior and supports a child's emotional needs. When you do that consistently, pushback usually decreases and connection increases. So we're drawing from John Gottman's Raising an Emotionally Intelligent Child so that we can apply his 5 steps of emotion coaching to each of those pushback predicaments.
And just a quick note before we begin. Today's episode focuses on the everyday pushback that's normal as kids adjust to a new family structure. We're not addressing extreme situations like systematic alienation or a child being chronically manipulated and put in the middle, or a child requesting less time in your home to spend more time in their other home.
That's right. If you're facing one of those more complex dynamics, much of today's content will still help you to emotionally support your child, but we also have a few episodes that speak directly to those challenges, and so we'll link to those in the show notes.
Absolutely. And if that's where you are, we're so sorry, and you're not alone. We understand the heartache firsthand. After this episode, we highly encourage you to check out one of the episodes in the show notes for deeper guidance. And if you'd like some personalized support, schedule a free coaching call with us. We would love to help. Okay, let's first give a high-level overview of John Gottman's 5 steps of emotion coaching.
All right, let's do it. Step 1, be aware of your child's emotion. Emotion coaching starts with empathy. Tuning into what your child might be experiencing and remembering that a child who's pushing back usually isn't giving you a hard time, they're having a hard time. Mm-hmm. So be aware of their emotion.
Yeah. Step 2, recognize emotion as an opportunity for intimacy and teaching. Kids push back for real reasons, even if they can't articulate them. The night before our wedding, I remember Annika blurting out to me, "Hey, don't marry Mike, Mommy," all because she couldn't express her fear of losing me. These moments aren't just obstacles, they're opportunities to connect, empathize, and teach healthier ways to handle emotions. So choose curiosity and compassion to build intimacy and connection in those tough pushback moments.
That's right. Step 3, listen empathetically and validate feelings. As Brene Brown says, empathy is feeling with someone, and that usually happens through listening.
Right.
We've got to pay attention to tone, body language, and gestures, not just words. So use reflective listening and validation. You don't have to agree. You're simply showing your child that they've been heard and you understand their perspective.
Step 4, help your child to label emotions. Big, scary feelings shrink when they're named. So helping kids to say, "I feel jealous," or "I feel afraid," that actually gives shape to something that felt overwhelming. This builds emotional vocabulary and lifelong soothing skills. Research shows labeling emotions calms the nervous system, improves focus, boosts peer and academic success, and strengthens overall well-being.
That all sounds great.
I know, right? Most importantly, these 5 steps deepen trust and connection, especially in blended families where loss, ambiguity, and pushback are pretty common.
That's right. So we're going to start by being aware of a child's emotions. We're going to recognize emotion as an opportunity for intimacy and teaching. We're going to listen empathetically and validate feelings. We're going to help the child to label the emotions. And then step 5, we're going to set limits while helping the child to explore solutions. Once emotions are acknowledged, then you can calmly set boundaries and start guiding problem solving with kids. Kids receive correction much better when they've felt heard and understood. The message here is your feelings are valid, but not all behaviors are okay. Like, what a great message. This step teaches healthy expression, empowerment, resilience, and acceptance. And when parents walk through these steps with a child who's pushing back, the experience looks nothing like last week's patterns that we talked about. Instead of feeling dismissed or alone, kids feel seen, heard, and supported, and they gain a practical way forward to help solve their own problems. And that reduces pushback, and it grows some genuine connection.
Exactly. I found Gottman's book years ago and practiced these 5 steps imperfectly for a while.
Of course.
But over time, I gained real skill as an emotion coaching parent. And it's had a huge positive impact on all three of our kids.
Absolutely.
And my relationship with them.
That's right. And it's your all-time favorite parenting book. Is that right?
Guilty as charged.
Yep.
And honey, you've honed your emotion coaching skills as well. And I'm so grateful for that.
Yeah, thanks, son. So let's try to bring the steps of emotion coaching to life in each of our pushback predicaments. How does that sound?
Great. Let's go. So we're going to do some role play and walk through the 5 steps of emotion coaching. Let's start with how to identify and respond when a child is competing for love, which can show up when a child fears a parent's love is limited and they're afraid they might lose some of their share of it, right? They feel threatened.
Yeah.
It also stirs stress about losing time, attention, and affection as new people enter into their world and merge into the family.
And sometimes there's some clues, some big clues that pop up when this is going on. Recently, a newly engaged mom told us that her daughter asked her to rank the most important people in her life. Wow. What that daughter really wanted to know was, am I still first, or has your fiance replaced me? Sometimes kids are subtle like that, or they may bluntly just say, well, you care more about them than me, right? So let's role play a little bit of how emotion coaching can uncover the competition for love and bring connection.
Yeah. All right. So let's start with I'll be the mom who's recently engaged to Joe.
Oh, not Joe.
Now, Joe has full custody of his 2 kids, Alex and Emma. So for this scenario, honey, you'll be my 8-year-old son, Johnny. He moves between 2 homes on a 50-50 schedule.
Got it.
And let me just lay out the scenario here. I pick you up from your dad's after a week away. And, you know, Johnny, you're happy to see me until we get home and Joe, Alex, and Emma are there. Now, Alex runs over. He's excited that you're back and offers to share candy he got at a parade we all went to on Saturday while you were at your dad's house. Suddenly, your mood shifts. You toss the candy to the ground, make a rude comment to Alex, and you storm out of the room.
So there's the pushback, a mood swing, and some unusual behavior from 8-year-old Johnny.
Right.
Now, since I'm usually kind to Alex and I love candy, then mom is starting to be aware, something's going on. So what's the first step of emotion coaching in this scenario, honey?
Well, you just named it. Be aware of your child's emotion.
Yeah.
It's usually easy to notice when our child is having a hard time. But this step isn't only about our child's emotions, it's also about our own.
That's right. So that means we've got to recognize some guilt or fear or frustration, whatever comes up for us, and not let those emotions hijack a pushback or a parenting moment. For many of us, that's really hard, especially if we grew up where emotions weren't safe or they were seen as weakness. But naming what we feel when our kids are struggling is crucial.
Now, I shared last week that guilt sometimes drove me to make choices that I later regretted. And if you're wrestling with things like fear, guilt, or insecurity and scrambling to put out the fire when your child is upset, pause and work through your own emotions first. You may need some support in order to do that, but don't let yourself get hijacked or paralyzed, right? And don't move into getting defensive, blaming, trying to control, going to fix it, all of that, because you'll experience discomfort yourself.
Yeah.
When we're able to manage our own emotions well, then we're better equipped to coach our children through theirs.
Yep, like the old airplane rule, right? Put on your own oxygen mask first. So here's the key. Don't let your child's discomfort automatically become your discomfort. You've got to cultivate awareness of both your feelings and theirs.
In my scenario with Johnny as mom, I could just brush it off. Oh, he's just tired and hungry. Transition day is always hard on him. That may be true, but what else might be happening under the surface for Johnny?
That's right. Okay. So we're acknowledging that Johnny's got something going on. Second, we're going to recognize this as an opportunity for intimacy and teaching. So once you're aware of the child's emotion and you've regulated your own, you can reframe that pushback as an opening to connect and teach. Remember, children, just like everybody else, have real reasons for their emotions, even if they can't articulate them or they just don't make sense to you, right? If you treat these moments as opportunities rather than a fire to put out, you're showing your child that you're their ally. You're going to figure it out together. And then when other issues arise later, you're both much better prepared to face them.
As John Gottman notes, while some parents try to ignore children's negative feelings in the hope that they'll just go away, emotions rarely work that way. Instead, negative feelings dissipate when children can talk about their emotions, label them, and feel understood. So the key is to acknowledge emotions early before they build up and explode into a full-blown crisis.
Yeah. Okay. So those first two steps are all kind of happening under the surface, and they're happening pretty fast as well. We have to recognize that.
Right. These first two steps prepare me as mom to move into the next 3 steps of emotion coaching.
Yeah.
So I've noticed Johnny struggling. He might be annoyed, frustrated, mad, upset about something. That's not how he typically reacts when offered candy by his stepbrother Alex, so something else is going on. Instead of appeasing, minimizing, distracting, deflecting, blaming, controlling, defending, or avoiding, I'm choosing to lean in, be fully present, and view this as an opportunity for intimacy and teaching.
Great. So you're ready to initiate an emotion coaching conversation.
That's right.
Let's move to step 3, which is all about listening empathetically and validating the child's feelings. Now, let's role play how this sounds between Mom and Johnny.
All right. First, I'll open the conversation. Then I'll listen, show empathy, and validate. Here's one way that might sound. Hey, Johnny, I noticed you threw down the candy Alex offered and left the room quickly. It seems like you're upset about something. Is that right?
Well, yeah, it's not fair.
I know how tough it feels when things aren't fair, honey. Can you tell me more about that?
It's just not fair that Alex and Emma got to go to the parade with you.
What I'm hearing is that it felt unfair that Joe's kids went to the parade with me while you were at your dad's. Is that right?
Yeah.
I can see how unfair this feels. You would have liked to have gone to the parade too. Now, notice that I'm reflecting back what I heard and I'm offering some empathy. That lets the child know that you're truly listening, which helps them to feel safe and seen.
That's right. The key is to give your child space to process and respond. So you've got to be patient.
Absolutely. This step is critical. Compare my response to something like this. Well, you had visitation with your dad on that day. That's just how it worked out. A response like that to Johnny, it might explain the logistics, but it doesn't connect with his emotions or help him work through any pain he's experiencing.
That's right. You know, when a child is struggling emotionally, logic and arguments, they just don't get you very far, right? Lean into listening and validating. Simple observations work way better than a probing why question about how they're acting. Most kids can't explain why they're acting the way they are, especially not right on the spot. And why questions can feel like an interrogation or like you're being critical. Emotion coaching gets to the why beneath the behavior without stirring up more negativity.
Exactly. So instead of, why did you throw the candy and why were you so rude to Alex? Try an observation and ask a non-threatening question. I noticed you threw down the candy and left the room. It seems like you're upset. Is that right?
Yeah.
This opens the door for them to explore what's going on inside without pressure to justify it. I'm also not going to address the poor behavior right now, and we'll get to that soon. But first, I need to stay focused on listening, offering empathy, and validating.
That's right. And remember, validation doesn't mean that you're agreeing with the behavior. You can say, I can see this is really hard for you, right? What counts is that you keep your response We'll call it pure, Pure, free from appeasing, minimizing, deflecting, blaming, defensiveness, controlling, avoiding, all that stuff Kim listed earlier. Validation simply communicates, oh, I hear you and I understand where you're at. Mm-hmm. Like you respond better to people when they react that way to you too, right?
Exactly.
As we mentioned earlier, Brene Brown says empathy is feeling with someone. You can't truly feel with your child until you understand their emotional world. And that comes through listening. Mm-hmm. All right, now it's time to move to step 4.
Right, and that's helping the child verbally label emotions. This step is so important because it helps a child take big, scary, uncomfortable feelings and turns it into something definable, something with boundaries that's a normal part of everyday life. Anger, sadness, and fear stop being overwhelming and start to become emotions that everyone experiences sometimes and can learn to manage. Mm-hmm. To help Johnny verbally label his emotions, Mom might say something like, "Honey, I'm wondering if you're feeling left out or maybe jealous because you didn't get to go to the parade with us."
I don't know. It's just a dumb parade anyway. I just think it's kind of weird that Alex and Emma get to be with you and do a whole lot of fun things, even more than I do.
All right, now we're going deeper. This isn't about a parade. It's about what's happening under the surface for Johnny. That's why Mom is going to keep cycling through steps 3 and 4, listening, validating, and helping label emotions, all while using open-ended questions. Johnny, what I hear you saying is that it feels weird when Joe's kids spend more time with me than you do. Thanks so much for telling me that. Can you share a little bit more?
Well, it just bothers me sometimes how close you seem to be with them.
It sounds like you might be worried about something. Is that right?
Well, I guess I kind of wonder if his kids are going to take you away from me.
Thanks for letting me know. It sounds like you're worried about my relationship with them and afraid that it could change our relationship. Did I get that right, honey?
Yeah, I guess. Kind of afraid you'll just end up loving them more than you love me.
Johnny, thank you for sharing that you're worried and afraid that I'll love Alex and Emma more than I love you.
Now, check that out. At this point, Mom has uncovered the real issue. It's Johnny's fear of losing Mom because Joe's kids are getting a whole lot of her attention, right? Johnny's pushback is rooted in competition for love. Now, because Mom worked through those steps 1 through 4, Johnny's feeling heard, supported, and understood. And by helping him label his emotions, Mom's now reducing the tension and positions herself as both an advocate and a safe confidant.
And here's the beauty of this step. Research shows that labeling emotions calms the nervous system and helps kids to recover more quickly after upsetting events. You're not only helping your child settle in the moment, you're giving them an emotional vocabulary that will serve them for life, teaching them how to self-soothe as they grow into adulthood.
That's right. As John Gottman notes, kids who learn to regulate early tend to show higher emotional intelligence, concentrate better, form stronger peer relationships, perform better in school, and enjoy overall better health.
That's right. The takeaway for parents is simple. Help your kids find words for what they feel. Now, that's not telling them what they should or shouldn't feel. It's giving them language so they can honestly express what's going on inside. Now that Johnny can name his feelings, he's feeling worried and afraid, we're ready to move to the final step.
That's right, which is step 5, set limits while helping explore solutions. So let's play out what this might sound like.
Johnny, I'm really glad you told me how you're feeling. I get why this is hard. I'm here for you and I want to help. Is there one thing you can think of that might make this easier for you?
Well, I really want it to just be us doing things together sometimes.
So spending some time with just the two of us, you think that would help?
Yeah, like what we used to do before you started dating Joe.
Oh, that's a good idea. Thanks for sharing. Is there anything else you can think of?
Not really. I just know Alex and Emma will be here a lot since their mom isn't around, and I'm going to be over at Dad's.
I can see why it might feel like it's unfair, and because I'm with them more, I might end up loving them more than you. That would really be upsetting.
Yeah. Well, I guess it just feels weird.
Yeah, things are different now. Would it be okay if I shared a few thoughts?
Okay.
Here's the thing I know about love. It doesn't run out, honey. Sometimes we think parents only have so much love and then the tank goes empty. That's not how love works. When it comes to you, my love won't ever run out. Nothing and no one could ever change how much I love you because you're my son. Our relationship matters so much to me, and it always will. Can you hold on to that?
Yeah, I guess so. Thanks, Mom.
I really like the idea about us spending more time together, and I'm going to think about how we can do that. For now, is there anything else that would help? Maybe a hug?
Okay.
Now that Johnny is calmer and feels heard, understood, and loved, Mom can address the inappropriate behavior. That might sound like, honey, I know you were upset when you realized we all went to the parade while you were at Dad's. Your feelings make sense. In this house, though, it's not okay to be unkind to others. The comment you made to Alex, that wasn't very kind, and I'm wondering what you could do to make things right.
Oh, yeah. I guess I need to tell him I'm sorry.
I think that's a great idea, and I'm really proud of you for choosing to apologize. You know, I'm wondering in the future, if you start to worry that I'll love Joe's kids more than you, would you tell me so that we can work through it together? How does that sound?
Sure, I'll try, Mom. I guess that sounds okay.
All right, parents and step-parents. Right now you might be thinking, well, why not just skip straight to solutions and limits? It's faster, right?
Yep.
But when we do that, we bypass the goal of emotion coaching. Kids need space to process big feelings and to feel understood. Skipping those other steps often leads to more pushback.
That's right. And you also miss a chance to build trust and connection. Now, this can sometimes feel inconvenient or slow. It might even feel unnecessary at times from a parent's perspective. But from a child's perspective, each step matters. Mm-hmm. And the benefits far outweigh the time and the energy it takes to help your children to learn how to manage their emotions, to solve their problems, and how to behave appropriately. It just happens to be the last thing on the list.
Yeah, there's
right?
a reason for that.
That's right. So here's a few tips for step 5. Resist fixing it for them. Notice how Mom first asked Johnny's ideas, right? That fosters capability and buy-in as well. Mm-hmm.
You know, if a child suggests something in that moment like, well, I think you need to break up with Joe, you can validate the feeling while setting a limit. Might sound something like this. I know this is hard, Johnny, but that's not a realistic solution. What's another idea that could help?
Yeah, that's great.
And if they get stuck, ask permission to offer your own idea. Would it be okay if I shared an idea? And then ask what they think of your idea. Continue to brainstorm ideas with your child. And if you find that they just can't think of anything to offer, you can ask them to give it some thought and get back to you. Then remember to follow up later with them and ask, what have you been thinking about?
Yeah.
Keep in mind that problem solving isn't always cut and dry. Sometimes you'll need to be patient and explore different possibilities to help your child as they adapt.
That's right. And be careful not to make promises in the moment that your partner hasn't yet agreed to. Don't commit to something like every Saturday, just the two of us, right? Unless you know for sure that you and your partner are already aligned. So in our role playing just now, Mom did this really well. She affirmed Johnny's idea of that one-on-one time, and she said she'd think about what that might look like. Okay. That gives her the opportunity to go and talk to Joe about a healthy rhythm of one-on-one time before promising anything. That prevents conflict with her partner, and it avoids commitments that she just can't keep with her son. And notice she didn't say, oh, let me talk to Joe about that. That protects future relationships, because if they just can't work it out exactly the way Johnny wants, we need to make sure that he's not blaming Joe for that. Yeah. Okay. So what do you say we look at another pushback predicament, and we're going to discover how we can apply the 5 steps of emotion coaching to a couple more?
Sounds good. Let's tackle accusation and threats. This time, I'll be the child and you be the dad.
Great. Here's the scenario. I've been dating Jane for quite a while. I recently proposed, and we're planning a wedding, and we're getting ready to merge households. Now, logistically, it's going to make the most sense for me and my children, Alex and Emma, to move into Jane's house. Now, Alex, he's fine with the idea because Jane's got this dog he loves. He enjoys her son, Johnny. But 12-year-old Emma is really pushing back. Okay, hon, so you're going to be Emma.
All right.
You ready?
I'm ready.
All right, let's hop in.
You never listen to me and you don't even care. If you marry Jane, I am not moving into her house.
Whew. Okay, so first, I need to take a deep breath. I need to deal with my own emotions and recognize that Emma is having some emotions as well. Then I need to see this as an opportunity to connect with Emma. Okay. That's when I can start with step 3 of listening and empathizing. So don't forget, that's all kind of happening like under the surface right in the moment. So that was pretty harsh. Emma's coming at me. Here I go. I'm going to enter in. I'm really sorry that you feel I don't listen to you or care. That must actually hurt.
It does hurt, and you're the one causing it.
I can see how hard this is for you, sweetheart. And I do want to understand what you're experiencing. Can you tell me just a little more?
Well, like I told you before, I don't want to move into Jane's house with her kid, and you're not listening or doing what's best for me.
Okay. What I'm hearing is that you don't want to move into Jane's, you're feeling unheard, and you don't think I'm doing what's best for you. Did I get all that right?
Yes, but you're still planning to move us all there after the wedding, even though I don't want to live there.
It sounds like you're disappointed in my decision, and you're really not interested in living at Jane's. Is that right? Or is there something else that you want me to know?
Well, we've already had to move after you and Mom got divorced. I still miss my friends from our old neighborhood. And now we're going to have to do it all over again? Seriously?
Yeah, I can see that. Thanks for telling me, honey. I understand why you wouldn't want to move again. Moving is a lot, isn't it? It sounds like you're kind of sad about not seeing your friends much anymore. Is that right?
Yes.
What else is going on?
Well, I'm angry too, because Jane's kid is really annoying, and I'll have to deal with him in my space all the time if we move there.
So you're angry and maybe unsure what things might look like after we move into Jane's. Do I have that right?
Well, I guess so. Maybe I should just go live with Grandma instead.
I see. It's overwhelming. You know, it's hard not to know exactly what living with Jane and Johnny's going to be like. And I know that Johnny has a lot of energy sometimes, which can be difficult for you.
He's just so annoying, and I don't like it when he's in my face all the time.
Yeah, you're right. It's important for you to have your own space and also to stay connected with your friends. So I can see why you're feeling angry and sad about these changes. You know, hon, I'm really glad that you told me this, and I want you to know that I love you and I want good things for you.
Well, I don't think this is a good thing for me at all.
Yeah, I hear you. Change is hard. What might be one thing that you think we could do that would make this a little easier for you?
I don't know. This just stinks.
This stinks. And I really believe that you have what it takes to make the best of a challenging situation. You can do hard things, and I'm here to help, honey.
Well, I guess it would be good if I had my own room that Johnny wasn't allowed in so that I could have some privacy and get a break.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Thanks for sharing that, honey. You know what? Actually, Jane and I have been talking about how to provide exactly that. And we're planning some changes to the house so that you will have the private space that you need. So I hope it helps to know that you are going to have some privacy. We're going to figure that out.
Yeah, I guess so.
What other ideas do you have? Maybe ways to stay connected with your friends?
Well, my friends from the old neighborhood still hang out at the roller skating rink sometimes. Before we had to move, we all used to have so much fun there.
Okay. Well, maybe we could figure out a way you can join them when possible, or find some ways to stay connected. How does that sound?
That would be really good.
Okay. Well, honey, I know these changes have been really hard. I really want to hear and understand your concerns. And it's also not okay to speak to me disrespectfully. When you're sad or angry, I need you to express it, and I need you to do it in a respectful manner. That's going to help me to help you better. Does that make sense?
Yeah. All right. Fine. I'll try.
Thank you, hon. I appreciate that. Now, what do you need from me right now?
Would you help me to schedule a time to get together with my old friends?
Sure, we can do that.
Okay. So that was a mix of accusations. You don't listen, you don't care, and threats. I'm not moving. Plus some opposition towards Jane's son, Johnny, and grief over missing friends due to the previous move.
Right.
It's common for kids to feel sadness, anger, and other big emotions during seasons of change, and to feel out of control while major decisions are being made about their lives. As you move forward, remember that your kids may still be recovering from the loss of their first family through divorce, abandonment, or death.
That's right.
There are often layers of pain, confusion, and overwhelm, and they need our help to release that tension, to sort through those emotions and make sense of the changes so that they can regain a sense of understanding, control, and calm.
Hopefully you're starting to see how each step of the emotion coaching process helps you to respond to pushback. So let's do one more. This time, oppositional pushback is directed at the step parent. So here's the scenario. Joe and Jane are now married, and everyone now lives under one roof. Jane's ex just dropped off their son, Johnny, after a week at Dad's. Now, Jane isn't home right now, but stepdad, Joe, is there to greet Johnny at the door. So, honey, I'll be Joe, and you're little Johnny.
Okay, great.
Hey, Johnny, good to see you.
Hey.
I hope you had a good day.
It's okay.
Hey, I noticed after you left last week that your bike didn't get put away, and it's kind of been blocking the recycle bins in the garage. Could you take care of that for me, please? Hey, Johnny, did you hear me? Hey, Johnny, I need you to move your bike and put it where it belongs.
Whatever.
Okay, now Johnny just plopped down on the couch and he's staring at his phone. Hey, Johnny, it's been a hassle to get to those bins with your bike in the way. Now that you're home, I really need you to move it.
Give me a break. I'm busy right now.
Looks like you're on your phone.
Whatever. You're not my dad, so stop telling me what to do.
You're right, Johnny. I'm not your dad. It also seems like you might be upset about something. Do I have that right?
Well, I don't want to talk about it.
Okay, I get that. But, sometimes it helps to share what's bothering us. And I'm here if you want to talk.
It's just so annoying.
Okay, so you feel annoyed. Would you be willing to tell me more about that?
It's annoying doing chores at two houses.
Wow, that does sound annoying. I'd probably feel pretty frustrated with that too.
Yes, it's frustrating. I just finished cleaning my room and doing chores at Dad's, and now I have to come here and do more. It's not fair, and I just want a break.
Yeah, I can see how that feels unfair. It would be frustrating. You just came from doing chores and maybe you're a little tired. What's one thing that you think would help right now?
I just want to veg out, and I'm kind of hungry too.
Okay. So you're hungry and you want to veg out. Would it help to grab a snack and maybe just take a little break before putting the bike away?
Yeah, I guess so.
Great. You know what? We've got your favorite snack mix and that favorite sports drink you like. Do you think you could take care of that bike before dinner time?
Sure.
Yeah, well, I'd really appreciate that. It seems like you've had a busy day, and I get that you're hungry and tired. And the way that you ignored me just now and then snapped at me wasn't very kind, though. And so I'm wondering if you could find a better way to talk about this kind of thing when it comes up. What do you think?
I guess so.
Do you have any thought around what that might look like?
I don't know.
Is it okay if I shared an idea?
Okay.
When you're annoyed or frustrated, it might work a little better if you just tell me what's going on so we can problem solve together. As an example, like the first time that I asked you about the bike, instead of ignoring me, you could say how you're feeling in a calm way, be nice, and then ask for a reasonable time to get it done. And dude, I know I'm not your dad, and I'm not trying to be, but I do want to understand you, and I do want to work with you on things like this. What do you think? Does that seem doable?
Yeah, I think so.
Awesome. Let's go grab that snack. I'd actually really love to hear how the school assembly went today.
You know, kids often have valid reasons for their big emotions, but they're still learning how to express them appropriately. Actually, a lot of us adults are still struggling to figure that out too.
That's right.
Our job is to stay open and patient and to avoid reactions that escalate pain, create conflict, or trigger a power struggle. If stepdad were to snap and say something like, "Hey, don't ignore me when I ask you to do something. You're being disrespectful. If you can't take care of your bike, then maybe you shouldn't have one." Ooh. Now Johnny sees his stepdad through a negative lens.
Yeah, he's the enemy.
Stepdad has demanded compliance, labeled Johnny as a disrespectful kid, and suggested a consequence before even trying to understand what might be going on under the surface. That kind of reaction doesn't build trust or connection. It likely harms their relationship. It's often all too easy for us adults to jump to quick conclusions when pushback shows up. "Oh, he's being lazy and defiant," without pausing to consider what else might be going on.
Mm-hmm. You know, you and I probably hate it when others make assumptions about us too, especially when we're already having a hard time.
Yeah.
So this is a great place to practice the golden rule with our kids. If you don't like being judged without the benefit of the doubt, offer that same kind of grace to your child or stepchild. Stay open and curious. Be willing to step into an emotion coaching conversation and resist the urge to make snap assumptions or label them.
Yeah, and when it comes to compliance, the goal of emotion coaching isn't to make a child instantly change their perspective, accept yours, and fall in line. Kids, like all humans, have complex emotions. These conversations won't fix everything, and they aren't one and done. Your child will need ongoing emotional support as they navigate all the ups and downs of life.
Exactly. The real goal is to treat pushback as an opportunity to empathize, to build intimacy, and to teach healthier ways to handle big, complex emotions. When parents and step-parents lean into these hard moments, powerful things happen. First, you gain real insight into what's really going on for your child. When parents tell us that they're baffled by their child's attitudes and behaviors, we encourage them to use the 5 steps as a fact-finding mission.
Exactly. And then, armed with deeper understanding of your child's struggle, you can respond and problem solve in ways that lower tension and help them to feel safe, supported, and secure.
And over time, that creates more connection and stability across your whole blended family.
Yes. Last week, we shared that every blended family is born out of loss. And loss and grief are often at the root of pushback, like Emma's resistance to moving after losing friendships. Emotion coaching helps kids surface that loss and work through their grief. When you hear painful words that reflect unwanted change, or you see your child struggling to accept the new reality, lean into the first 4 steps. Notice the emotion. See the moment as an opportunity to connect, listen and validate, and help them label what they're feeling. Often, there isn't an easy fix, and step 5, problem solving, may not always apply, or it may need to wait for a later time.
There are all kinds of reasons that kids grieve, right? Sometimes they don't understand why mom and dad can't get back together, or they're reminiscing about how the holidays used to be, or they wish a deceased or absent parent could see their soccer game, or they grieve the loss of a bedtime routine with you. However loss and grief shows up, it's essential to learn how to best support the kids. And as Ron Deal says, we've got to learn to hug the hurt.
Mm-hmm. Some practical support will help, like helping your child stay connected with friends or extended family that they feel distant from, but not always. The key is offering a safe space for kids to express their loss appropriately and to process through their grief. This is a big topic. So we've included several episodes in the show notes to guide you in approaching a child's loss and grief in some really healthy ways.
Yeah, we encourage you to go check those out. You know, we all need to avoid avoidance around this topic. No one looks forward to facing loss, especially when a child is hurting, right? But if we want to help them through it, we've got to learn to do this well. And when you do, it's an amazing gift that your kids and your stepkids will eventually really appreciate.
Oh, yeah. So we hope this 2-part series has been helpful. Here's the bottom line. Be willing to approach pushback with an emotion coaching mindset. Learn the 5 steps and keep practicing. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to keep growing. As you hone this skill, you'll calm your child, uncover what's really going on, and create space for understanding, healing, and connection. Whether your child is competing for love, making accusations or threats, acting oppositional, or grieving loss, you can meet those moments with confidence. Help them process their pain and grow trust, connection, and mutual respect.
That's right. Hey, thanks so much for hanging with us through this 2-part series. We're going to make this episode a wrap.
Until next time.